Here we go. So, hello, I am Bridget from Cowgirl Blues. I've presented at Vogue Knitting Live a couple of times, and so I know a number of you have seen that presentation. Thank you for coming back again, and thank you for the lovely feedback from some of you who have purchased our yarns. We really appreciate it. I'm going to start by just showing you a little video that I put together, giving you a bit of background to Cowgirl Blues, and then we'll look at the yarns and go from there. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And hello and welcome to Cowgirl Blues. My name is Bridget Henderson and I live in Cape Town in South Africa, where our business is based. The Cowgirl Blues name was inspired by this photograph and the Tom Robbins book, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. We have amazing merino wool in South Africa, and we're also the biggest producer of mohair in the world. It seemed like a no-brainer to me that instead of exporting all the raw wool, we should be able to add more value to it locally and then export it, so I decided to give it a try. As I started working with wool and crafting again, I discovered that I really loved playing with colour, and that my colours uplifted and inspired people, and it's all unfolded from there. We've grown to a team of 11 women, and Cowgirl Blues really is a team effort.
Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm working in Cowgirl Blues. I'm winding wool to crochet and knitting.
Hi, my name is Usiswa. I'm the head dyer. I did this one. This one is in sweet rings. It's nice. You must buy more.
Hi, I'm Elmarie. I manage the online shop and I'm looking forward to receiving all your orders. So buy lots.
We're looking forward to showing you our yarns, colours and projects. So sit back and enjoy the show. So that is a little overview, a little background to the Cowgirl Blues business and how we got started. I really stumbled into this industry. I had worked for many years as a strategy consultant in corporate organizations and studied an MBA in a business school in France and got a major dose of the burnout after commuting from Cape Town to Johannesburg every week for 3 years for work. And so in taking a step back, I stumbled on the natural resources we have here in South Africa in wool and mohair, and one thing led to another, and here we are. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just show you a couple of slides that I've put together just to introduce you to our different yarn bases, and then to show you all of the different colorways. I'll come back to the live presentation and show you different colors and swatches, and we can look at projects and go from there. Hope that all sounds good. Any questions at this point? And if you have, then please feel free just to pop those into the chat. Okay, so let me share screen with you again. No, not that one. Right, there we go. So, no. So we are based in Cape Town and we do all of our dyeing by hand. Cape Town's been through a very serious drought, which we're mostly recovered from. And so it's put huge pressure on water. And as part of that, we do use commercial acid wool dyes, but we have 25,000 litres of rainwater tank capacity. So we collect all the rainwater off the roof of our building in the winter, mostly rainy season, but it tends to last us for about 8 or 9 months of the year. We can work exclusively off rainwater rather than having to draw any water from the municipal system. And the city is set at the foot of Table Mountain, and I do a lot of walking on the mountain with my dog, and a lot of my inspiration and ideas about colour come from our incredible natural flora that we have here. We're a biodiversity hotspot with a number of species, like hundreds, I think, and thousands of species that occur nowhere else in the world. So it's a really beautiful place to live, along with all of the challenges and complexity that we experience as well. I have a wonderful team. We're very much a team effort. We've been very sad this week because one of my team members died last weekend, Veer, who's at the top right of the picture there. We're not 100% sure what the situation was, but to do with coronavirus complications. She hadn't been back at work since we opened after lockdown because she had some chronic health conditions. Yeah, we've been very sad about that, and yeah, just trying to process it and deal with it. And it's also been amazing just to realize how much everybody does care about their colleagues, and that we really are kind of a Cowgirl Blues family. So I mentioned in my video that we have amazing merino wool and mohair here in South Africa. We're the biggest producer of mohair in the world, and all of our yarns are locally sourced. And we specialize in color. So we've got 30 semi-solid colors that are all hand dyed, and they're available in all of our different yarn bases. And we also have 10 standard multicolors that the color palette is pretty much fixed for a year at a time, and towards the end of the year I'll start looking at refreshing the multicolors. Particularly we tend to keep a couple of them from year to year that have been the best sellers, and then bring in some new ones, and with the solid colors as well, we'll retire colors so we can introduce new and fresh colors, but we keep the recipes, so it's always possible to back order something that you've really liked that we have had in the past. And then we have 6 different yarn bases, and I'll just take you through each of those on the screen, and then I'll show you, we'll come back to live presentation and I'll show you from there. So in merino wool, we have 3 bases. Merino lace single, which is approximately 300 meters per 50 grams. And as Bonnie said, it comes in 50-gram balls in the solid colors and 100-gram skeins in the multicolors. All of our skeins, you can request that we wind them for you. You just put a note in with your order and we can wind them before we ship them. And so this is a lovely lightweight yarn. It's great for a doubling for color projects. It works very well in combination with our kids' silk. So it's a really nice lightweight merino yarn. Then we have the merino twist, which is approximately 150 meters in 50 grams, or 300 meters in 100 grams. Again, 50-gram balls in the solid colors and 100 grams in the multicolors. And this is approximately a 4-ply or sock weight. I think you would call it a sport weight in North America. It's very versatile. I have a new niece who's 2 months old, and it's a great yarn for knitting for children. It is superwash treated, so you can machine wash it, although we do recommend gentle care for the hand dyeing and to preserve the colors. Then we have a merino DK, a double knit in the merino, also 100% wool, and this is about 170 meters in 100 grams. And for this one, we do the 100 grams in the solids and the multicolors because the meterage was quite short in the 50-gram balls, so we don't do that any longer. And then in the mohair yarns, we've got 3 different bases. So we have kid silk, which is 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. And it is 25-gram balls for the semi-solid colors and 50-gram skeins in the multicolors, and about 200 meters in a 25-gram. And then we have got 100 grams of our Aran single, which is 80% wool and 20% mohair. As you can see, it's a single yarn, about 120 meters in 100 grams, and also in our solids and multicolors. And then we have the fluffy mohair. So this is a relatively new yarn for us that we mostly do in the European market, and I suppose in North America, it would work well as well. Our climate is generally a little warm for it, although it is nice for short winter season we have. And this is double knitting-ish. So it's about 200 meters in 100 grams. And we will dye the solid colors to order, and then we have the multicolors available as well. So from there, I am going to take you through the individual colors and show you what we have got available. So let me start. I'm going to show you the merino twist. So, sorry, the merino lace single. So this is 100% wool, and you can see it's a fine single yarn. And some people call these our little yarn cakes. So the balls of the solid color and then skeins of the multicolors. And this one I'm holding up here is Karma Chameleon. We're in the process of just updating the details of the multicolors on the website so that you can see what all the color ingredients are in a multicolor if you want to pair it with a solid. It's in the swatches that I'll show you a little bit later that we have been working on to combine colors together. So that's the merino lace single. Next up, I have so I have to put things back because they're going to need to feature again. Next up, I've got the merino twist. So this is mustard. This is one of my favorite colors. We have a saying that mustard improves everything. And you can see that it's a 2-ply construction over here. This is the solid, and then an example of the multicolor. This is True Colors, which is a sort of mustard background with some speckles of color on the top, and 50 grams for the solid and 100 grams for the multicolor. Then we have the DK, and the DK comes in skeins in both solids and multis. And this one is a 4-ply construction, but a double knitting weight, and 100 gram skeins of both the solids and the multis. This one that I've got in my hand here is indigo, and this is True Colors. Then in the mohair, this is our kid silk, and you can get an idea of the halo on it. It's a brushed mohair yarn, and quite a fine yarn that combines very nicely with all sorts of other yarn weights if you want to make a construction a little heavier. And then you can see the multicolors in the 50 gram skeins. Sorry, I think I should have pinned my video, which I'm going to spotlight there. Right, so that was the mohair silk. And then the Aran, so here the solid is terracotta, and the multicolor I'm showing you is Tinted Love. And you get an idea of the single construction. It's a heavier weight yarn. There. And last but not least, our fluffy mohair. So this one is a lot thicker than the kid silk. You can see the strands there, also brushed yarn, and it is 78% kid mohair, 16% wool, and 6% nylon in the makeup. And yes, Claire, thank you very much for asking. There is a discount code. It is VKL August, and it gets you 10% off the yarns, and we will give another 10% to Ladles of Love, which is a soup kitchen organization here in Cape Town that has been doing amazing work since the pandemic hit, of feeding literally millions of people. I think they've provided about 7 million meals for people, and we would like to support them as well. I'm just going to write the code into the chat for everybody. And sorry, it pops up as it autocorrects to not one word, but there we go. I put that in there. If anyone is ordering and has any problems with using the code, please just let us know. We will also go through and check the orders, and if there's been an issue using the code, we can easily apply a refund through PayPal. And Colleen, thank you very much. That is amazing. Yes, absolutely. If you choose not to use the discount, we will donate the 20%, your 10%, and the other 10% to Ladles of Love. And thank you for that. Yeah, their work is incredible. They've created a community-based network of people who make sandwiches and boil hard-boiled eggs and drop them off at different points during the week, which they then collect and distribute to organizations that need them. So my mum and I have a teamwork with that. She makes sandwiches, I boil the eggs, and so we do that twice a week. And they also obviously accept donations and things, and then support township-based and community-based soup kitchens, children's homes, orphanages, what do you call them, daycares, all sorts of things. So they really do phenomenal work, and the need for it has just grown exponentially through the lockdown and things caused by the pandemic. So yes, we're really happy to support them. So those are I've taken you through the yarn bases, and I'm going to walk you through each of the individual colorways and then show you some swatches of our multicolors, and then I'll take you through the projects. That work for everybody? So if you have questions, then do just pop them into the chat, and I'll keep an eye on that and answer them as we go. So I am going to start with one of our most popular colorways, which is called Happy Days. It is all about happier days, and it's got bright and cheerful colors in it, and you can see it here. This is the merino twist, the Aran in the middle, and then the kid silk. And here you can see how it knits up. This swatch is in Aran. And I'm actually going to do that as well, because I also really like the pearl side of the swatches. The effect is very interesting. And then there you can see it on the kid silk swatch. It's the yarns take the color a little differently, so it's more subtle on the kid silk. This is also a much looser gauge of the kid silk. And then the other thing that we have done is started to play with, people have asked us, how do different colors work together? So our kid silk knits beautifully combined with other yarn weights, especially the lace weight. If you want to, I think the combination of the kid silk and the lace weight is probably about a fingering weight. In North American terms. So here you can see it, here it is with natural, here it is with aubergine, here with faded rose, and then here on the plum. And you get a sense of how the background color that you combine with it tones up or down or makes different elements of that colorway pop. So that's Happy Days. Next up, I have Cape Carnival, which is very bright and full of all sorts of different colors. It's inspired by the Cape, the Minstrel Carnival, which happens on the 2nd of January here in Cape Town, where everyone dresses up in sort of satiny, shiny, brightly colored outfits for each marching band or choir, and they compete for a trophy. And then here you can get an idea of what those look like. So there it is on the lace single and on the Aran, and over here on the fluffy mohair. And Cape Carnival on backgrounds of a couple of different colors. You know, if you put a mustard versus a natural, you're going to get a very different tonal effect. Here it is on the terracotta and up here on the olive. So that is Cape Carnival. Next up, I've got Sweet Dreams, which is the one Bosiso was dyeing in her video. There you can get an idea. This is a much more subtle multicolor, so just little droplets of color. We tend to do most of our multicolor dyeing with drops of color rather than with applying powder, which is how a lot of indie dyers and home dyers work. The powders are very invasive and spreadable. And so because we work in an open plan studio, we take a lot of precautions to limit anyone's exposure to the dye powders. And so it's much safer to dye with them dissolved as a liquid. So that is Sweet Dreams, and I'll show you the skeins. There you can see Sweet Dreams on the lace and on the double knit. Little bits of chili pepper and campspare and mustard. And we've also been playing with swatches, pairing the multis with other color elements, and it's got me very inspired to be working up some scarves and sweaters and things using these different color combinations. So this one is celadon at the top and Sweet Dreams, and then chili pepper is the red at the bottom. And that one, we've also done a couple of swatches. So you can see there it is. Again, that's the chili pepper and that's the celadon when they're held double. And then here you can see it on the natural, and here with carrot juice, which is one of our bright orange colors, which people often think, oh, what do you knit that with? But it actually combines really beautifully with a lot of the multicolors. So that one's Sweet Dreams. Next, I have got Tambourine Man, and Tambourine Man is sort of similar to Sweet Dreams in the way that it's created, but different color combinations, more pink, green, and the swatch. This one is done in the merino twist, gives you an idea of that it's a very light color combination. Here you can see the swatch in the kid silk. It obviously just depends where you get the yarn when you're knitting. With a small swatch like this one, there's a lot more natural than you would get the effect of in a general skein. And that one, again, you can see putting a background color gives it a very different feel. And here it is obviously on the natural. So that's Sweet Dreams. Next, I have got Tinted Love. So this is reds and pinky colors with little hints, some little gaps and hints of other things. And there you can see the swatch next to the skein. So that's Tinted Love. And here we've done it with various different background colors. But if you're into marling, it would be a fun way to use small quantities of the lace colors in the background, and then one of the multicolors going along with it. You get quite subtle color changes depending on which combination you mix it with. So you might be able to read better than I can here, but let me see. Okay, so this is Ruby Grapefruit. This one's Silver Fox. This one is Faded Rose, and then here it is on the natural. That's Tinted Love. Then I have Signs of Spring. Let's get that one. So Signs of Spring is mostly greens, a little bit of celadon background with a few splashes of hot pink. So Bridget has asked, when I show the swatches with another color, what are the bases that I'm combining? So I think you are asking about these swatches. So in these swatches, we've combined the lace single with the kid silk. So the solid color is in the lace single and the multicolor is the kid silk. And this is Signs of Spring. So here you can see it with the natural, with the celadon, with olive, and with hot pink. And this is the colorway on its own on the double knit. And there you can get an idea of the double knit and the lace there. These swatches showing you the colorway are on the website. And I will go through a process of photographing these and putting them together so that you can see how different yarns and colors combine. Yeah, Thanks, Bridget. We've had so much fun playing with them this week, and Makai, who knits on the knitting machine, does the swatches. And we could just keep going forever, putting more and more color combinations together. So if there's anything in particular that you'd really love to see, then just drop, if you're trying to make a decision about something, then just drop us an email and we can always whip up a swatch for you if we've got those yarn colors available, and you can get an idea of how they mix. So the next one is 9 to 5. Blues with some little speckles of sort of more purpley colors, little bits of green, and this little rusty splash there. And the swatch gives you a very good indication of how the color knits up. And here you can see it a lot more subtle on the kid silk. So the mohair takes the yarn very differently. It takes the color very differently from merino superwash, and it doesn't snatch the color like the superwash does. So it blends in quite differently. And then here you can get an idea of those of that superwash with natural, with celadon, with guinea fowl, and with terracotta. I mean, this guinea fowl one for me is just absolutely gorgeous. How it speaks to, how the 9 to 5 speaks to the guinea fowl, and just adds some little pops of the individual speckled colors in quite a subtle way onto the lace. You could mix the kid silk with any of the bases, and the lace is the closest to the kid silk in weight, and so the colors balance a little bit better together. If you put it with the merino twist, for example, you would get the solid color of the twist showing more prominently than it is here, and the kid silk a little more subdued because it's finer. So that's the 9 to 5. And then True Colors is a mustardy yellow combination, and this is how it knits as a solid color swatch. And then we've also played with some different colors with that one. So I just love the pinky color combinations, how it transforms the multicolors. And then I think this is one of my favorites of how it's knitted. So we have this very bright, almost sort of acidy lemon solid color, but when you mix it with the True Color, the subtlety in it is just beautiful. And also when knitted on the natural, the balance of the natural against the yellows of the True Color is quite lovely. Okay, then I've got Come a Chameleon, which is greens, and here you can see what it looks like on the swatch. And then this one, we've also paired it with some other solid colors to give you an idea of how they'll play together. So with aubergine and Camps Bay there. And then last but not least, many people's favorites. I have a project in mind for this, which I just haven't been able to get started yet, but this is Under Pressure. So it's very subtle, natural with sort of charcoal grays and then little bits of orange speckle. And you can see here, oops, how it knits up in the swatch. And then on the mild swatches, I mean, very beautiful with the camel, how it again just gives a little bit of lightness with charcoal, with natural, and then again with the carrot juice, which is quite bright. So those are the different multicolors. And what I'm going to do now is just show you a couple of the samples and project knit kits if you would like to see those. And I'll talk about some of our fade sets at the same time in relation to a couple of the different samples as I go through those. So let me go on with that. So the first one that I've got here, this is our pinstripe scarf kit. It's knit in the lace single. I'm bringing it a little closer so you can see it's a very easy, relaxed kind of TV knit or a great beginner knit. And the kit comes with small balls of the different solid colors that go into the project, and it's, you know, you can wear it as a wrap or you can wear it as a wrap or as a scarf. You may be able to see that my dog Mira has come to say hello. She's not big on, she's a little camera shy, so she doesn't like having cameras pointed in her face, and hides away. Hello, Mira. So that is the pinstripe scarf kit. This is a new colorway that we have just developed, and we have our original colorway is on a silver fox gray background with a different set of multicolor, a different set of solid colors. You could always take the set of minis and pair them with a different background color. Yes, absolutely, Bebe. I will come back to those in a minute as soon as I have finished with the projects. So that is the pinstripe scarf, and put that down there. Next up, I have got the sunshine shawl, which is one of our very popular knit kits. It's a large shawl size. Again, we've done it with small balls of different colors so that you can have the striping going all the way to the end without having to have an entire ball of yarn. And that's this is 200 grams of the merino twist in this one. Then we have a pattern called the Joys of Spring shawl, and we've worked up a new sample of this one. Get an idea of the colors there. So this is the true colors in the background as the multicolor paired with hot pink and sage, and it just gives a nice pop of color, and it's quite a large project size that you can wear as a shawl if you're into Outlander and you like the way Sassenach dresses with her shawls knotted at the waist. This is a good one for that because it's quite a big size, so you can just wrap it around and knot it at the back. And this one comes in, it's very easy to make up your own colorway for this pattern, and we've done two other little swatches. So this one is the blues, which is 9 to 5 with carrot juice and celadon, and then I've also done a green combination. Our original one was knitted with a colorway called Walk in the Woods, which we don't carry anymore, so I've worked it up with Calm Chameleon. So that is the Joys of Spring shawl. Oops. I've got a couple of other, so we have, I designed a blanket for my new niece. So this is called the Beehive Baby Blanket, and this is a merino twist kit with the DK knitted onto that as well. Then if you like the kid silk, our kid silk cobweb shawl is a lovely knit. It's got this little tuck stitch knitted into it here, and it's very easy to mix in whichever yarn color combinations you are interested in. So that's also available on our kits page. I've got a bunch of other samples. The two that I'd love to show you are projects done with our fade sets. So this is the first one, which is a cardigan called Le Poof. I'll pop that in here. Of hedgehog fibers. And it's knitted, it's designed to knit with a fade. It's a top-down construction, and so you can knit it longer or shorter. I think I knitted it a little bit too big, but it works very nicely with a yarn fade, and it's knitted in the merino twist. And we've got some lovely color sets on the website. this is one of the new colorways that I created this week. It's called Take On Me. So in the fade sets and the twist, you'll get 6 skeins of merino twist, and it's very easy to add a solid color onto either end, or to pop in another skein. So for example, you could put 9 to 5 as another skein onto the edge of this, if you wanted to make that up. So this is a lovely pattern for that. And then I forgot to bring my favorite jersey, so I'm just running to fetch it. I didn't have to go very far because it's always close to hand. So this is a pattern by, I need to show you this version of it before I show you my work in progress. So this one is called Reagan by Isabel Kramer. And this is literally my favorite jersey. It's a cardigan pattern. It's knitted with a straight section here, and then you pick up all the way around and into the end, and you can wear it both ways. So I always wear mine that way. My mum wears hers this way. She wears hers that way. So you can do both, obviously, pin it closed. And this one is knitted in a combination of the merino twist, the merino lace single and the kid silk. So a lot of those little swatches that I've shown you would be perfect for this. I'm also in the process of trying to finish another version of it, which is knitted with one of our lace fade sets. So you get an idea of it there. And this is, let me see if I can put it on. It's dangling off it. So it will, obviously it hasn't been blocked or anything, but I really like how the color difference works. And so our merino fade sets have 4 skeins of yarn. And for this pattern, I think for the large size, you need 1 extra ball. So I've just added a ball of silver fox in the lace single. And that will be enough for me to finish that off. So the lace fade sets are lovely for that. And you can pair, you know, if you wanted it heavier, you could always just add in the kid silk as well on top of the fade. So I'm just thinking, I've got a lot of other samples and things here to show you, but I don't know, people had a couple of questions. So I'm going to go to those first, and then I can always come back and show you some more things. And if you would like me to send you an email with a link to all of the samples and pictures and things like that, then please just pop in an email, pop your email address in, and I will send you a recording of the session. So somebody asked about the Tinted Love swatches. So I'm just going to go back to those. Was it this card that you had a question about? I think it was Bebe. So on this one, it's natural here, faded rose. This one is silver fox, and this one is ruby grapefruit. So I'm going to hold that there for you for a minute. And if I hold that up, so that's an idea of the sort of the section of our color card that we picked colors from for this, and the ruby grapefruit is second from the top on that one. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Bebe? Is there, if you have any questions about it? It was the ruby grapefruit that you were particularly interested in. It's lovely, isn't it, that it gives such a deep color. Yeah, I also really like it. You know, it takes away from the very sort of pinkish reddish tone and takes it into a slightly more fruity kind of combination. So yes, that one. Can I ask, we've officially got about another 10 minutes. Can I show you some more samples? Are there yarns that people want to see? What would you like to see? And yes, a couple of people have put their email addresses in. Yes, absolutely. I'll send you all that info. More samples would be nice. Okay, more samples here. Here you go. So there are a couple of projects. I borrowed a couple of samples from a friend of mine. She and her daughters knit a lot. And this one is called the Sunday Sweater. Sunday Cardigan. And it is by Petite Knit on Ravelry. It's knit in our kid silk. You can see there. And it's a very pretty pattern, and she has got lots of lovely patterns. And I did actually find her pattern. I'm just going to pop that, see if that pastes. I'm not entirely sure whether you can work a link from that, but I'm going to put it in there. Yes, so she's got a mohair edition of the Sunday Cardigan, which is lovely. And I think this one's called the Holiday Jumper. And actually, I've been fantasizing about knitting myself something like this. Yeah, I'm hoping to get onto that. So those two are Petite Knits. And this one I also borrowed from my friend. So this is Knitting for Olive. And this, she combined the twist, I think she used the twist with a little bit of mohair in it. And this one I also, so this is in terracotta. Sorry, the one before was in faded rose. And this one is called the Clotilde Sweater. And I'm going to post that link in there. Did I manage to do that? I've sent them both into them to one comment. So that's another lovely pattern example. The other one that I can show you is a test knit that I did. So this is in our fluffy mohair yarn, and I'm probably about the world's worst person to do a test knit because I really don't like following instructions. And I followed the pattern, but then I felt the need to change up how the pattern was knitted. So this one is called Veer by erietml. No, not Veer, Veer. It's knitted from the top down, and Veer means feather in Dutch, and she did it with a Dutch woman. And these are the feathers that sort of float into the sweater, and I combined the fluffy mohair with the Aran single for the color so that you'd really get the pop of color. And then I don't like to waste yarn, and I didn't use the whole ball for this, so I just put the rest of the color into the cuffs. And I love how it turned out, and it's a very soft and comfy and warm sweater. Thanks, Jeanette. Yeah, I really like it. And her version is a lot more subtle, and she does, she designed it with the feathers in all different colors. And that seems a little crazy to me that you would want a ball of yarn for, 15 meters. So yes, that was this one. Which other, I think that's pretty much my fashion show for you today. I don't know if there are any other, if there are any that you want me to go back to, or yarns, or any of the other fade sets that you'd like to have a look at. Please just let me know. If anyone wants to unmute and ask any questions, you're very welcome to do that. Yeah, so entirely up to you. Oh, how to get your PDF. I am going to email you your PDF. I think that's Vicky hiding on her iPad. Is that right? So yes, I am going to email you your PDFs just as soon as we're finished. I'll get those to you. I think you said you use an app called Knit Companion, which I don't know, but it sounds like if you can put PDFs into it, then yes, definitely. So what yarn was the Sunday sweater made from? The Sunday cardigan is in the kid silk. Although it's several strands of kid silk held together, and I suppose you could always check the gauge and do it with one strand of a heavier mohair, a fluffy mohair. Yeah. Petite Knits does a lot of her designs with mohair. A number of the Scandinavian pattern designers use quite a lot of mohair. Their climate, I guess, is very suitable and lends itself to that. So yeah. What other questions? Anything else someone would like me to go back and show them, or any of the swatches that you want to have another look at? You're very welcome. And thanks for letting me know about the Knit Companion. I didn't know about it. So it's one of those things good to go and check it out and see what it's all about. Anything else that other people want to see? Vogue's doing it. Okay, I'll check it out. What else would anyone like a rerun of, or any questions or pattern informations? Okay, so they're doing a demo for how to use it. Interesting. Cool. Yes, I'm just trying to think what else would be interesting to show you. Oh, I can. No, I can't. I was going to say I can show you my lockdown blanket, but it's not quite finished, and it's hiding because I have to finish the sleeves on the Reg cardigan, and I'm not allowed to default to finishing my crochet blanket. So, yeah. Yes, I don't know if anyone else has got questions or other things they'd like to see. Please do just pop a note into the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself, and we can take questions.